Hello. Today I want to talk about how to protect your space. And when I'm talking about protecting your space, I'm talking about you as a person going about your business. Some people might call it protecting your energy, or other people might call it inserting boundaries, etc., etc. And the reason I wanted to share this is that, some people are really great with maintaining their personal space, not allowing the other to come in and interfere with their integrity, their authenticity, their purpose. And some people are more sensitive to the external world and can be affected by it more often. And so I just wanted to share some tips to help those that feel they're very sensitive, or maybe they're not, but they would like to support those that they know that are very sensitive to the external environment and would like to help with protecting their space, their own internal temple, whatever you wish to call your body, your mind, your spirit, your emotions, all of that. And so first one I just want to say is observing your environment and being intentional with how you spend your time and your energy in that environment. That's pretty important. There's many places we go throughout our day and many people that we may be engaging with on a daily basis. And there's many things that we may do that we don't necessarily really want to do, but we know that's going to, maybe you don't want to go to the supermarket, but you know that it's important that you eat food. So you're going to go to the supermarket and get food, or and say there's no delivery options or whatever, you just got to do that. So observing yourself in that environment and observing the environment and being intentional, right? Okay, I don't really want to go to the supermarket, but can I hold a particular intention about how my experience is going to be at the supermarket? And obviously not holding that expectation, but having an intention of what would I like to experience or feel within this experience, especially when it's something you're not really that keen on. Okay, another one is tuning your intuition. Now, we all have intuition. Some of us are more aware of it than others. And sometimes it can kick into place from a place of trauma. So that's why I say tuning your intuition. So if you're able to get your intuition tuned into a space where it's not always operating from trauma, or when it is, you're able to observe, okay, I'm getting a message about this or whatever, to do this or not do this or go here or whatever, but is it coming from a place of this is the direct purpose, this is for the betterment of you, or is it coming from a place of fear, childhood patterns, all of that sort of stuff. So tuning that up, there's obviously lots of practices you can do. You can do your research on what's going to be best suited for you and how you do that. Another one is knowing and embodying your standards, okay, your integrity, your yeses and your nos. That one is pretty self-explanatory. The next one is maintaining, or at least starting, internal practices. They could be things like meditation. There's a whole lot of things, right? But it's internal practices. It's maintaining your essence, who you are, what you're here to do, your inner peace, your inner joy, all of that. Now, another one is, it's a little playful, but you could play with the idea of visualization, especially if you've got quite a highly active imagination. So visualizing, white light or whatever it is that you feel that helps with maintaining your space. Another very practical, good one is cleansing, clearing, decluttering, and organizing your physical environment if you can. If it's your physical environment, it's your home, all of that, your car, whatever, do that sort of stuff. Doesn't necessarily hurt to be on top of that stuff. And if you find that it is a bit of a struggle for you to do that, then maybe you might have to push yourself a little, but at least keeping up some sort of routine with that. Don't really need to explain why. I'm sure that one is pretty self-explanatory. There's probably, there's lots of science talking about how decluttering and cleaning your space is really good for your mental well-being, but it also flows into obviously other parts of your well-being as well. Another one is taking a moment before you respond, just to make sure that you're not coming from a place of trigger, trauma, childhood patterns, la 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 la. That's going to help you a lot, because when you're coming from a place that of those things, you may find that then you're going to get more entering into your space that is not always necessary. Let's put it that way. Okay, another one is creating the space for you to do the activities that you enjoy, aka tapping into your fun, whatever that may be for you. I know some of us may live lives where we feel we don't have any time for that, but it's important that you do create space for that, whether it's 10 minutes a day or it's 30 minutes a week, or whatever it is that you can do, creating as much space for that as you can, as possible. And it may not necessarily be something that you do alone. It can be something that you do with others. It could be a particular activity that you like doing with your children. Maybe it's a particular activity you like doing with your colleagues, with your partner, with your friends, with your mum, with your other family members, all of that, right? But if you do find that you are a bit introverted, you may find that you would like to spend some of that time alone. So it's really up to you and what's best suited for you as to how you engage with your fun. Okay, the next one is checking in with how you speak to yourself. What is your internal dialogue? Now, I have seen some information lately that has suggested that some people actually don't have an internal dialogue, which really surprises me, although I also have to remind myself that I'm not, it's not that I'm not normal, but I probably am a bit of an oddball, if I can put it that way, in some sense, in some areas of society, in particular societies. So yeah, maybe you don't have an internal dialogue. I'm not sure what to say to that, but if you do, then checking in. How am I speaking to myself? To myself, about myself. That's always a good thing. And, because if you're sitting there or whatever, doing whatever, and you're not talking to yourself very nicely, then how is that going to help you with showing up for others or showing up for yourself externally? It's going to be a pretty hard place to work from sometimes, a lot of the times actually. So another one is building up your inner confidence. Some may say, there's particular energy centers within the body. I know it could be like the solar plexus, whatever. So building up your inner confidence, there's lots of practices that you can do around that, and I'll leave that research up to you. Also, another one, very simple and probably pretty obvious, is getting out to nature and grounding. So nature, why that's helpful to us, plenty of scientific studies to show you that. And grounding, well, what's that? That could be many things, but the most simple thing is to take your shoes off and put your feet on the ground, preferably like the forest, the beach, the grass, if it's safe for you to do so. So that's the most simple way. Now another one is, and basically the last one I wanted to talk about is no judgment is great, but that can be hard for some, and it can be hard for us to do all the time. So much less judgment of others. There's a difference between discernment and judgment. So are you being discerning or are you being judgmental about others? And that also then connects in with your internal dialogue too. You may find that when you're having particular dialogue with yourself, then that may help you with being less or more judgmental depending on the dialogue that you're having with yourself. And the purpose I really wanted to share these was just so that you can keep filling up your own inner cup. And then obviously when that is full or it's quite abundant, then you're able to keep serving and keep showing up to or for others, right? So you can keep being of service to others, because you're not very good in your service to others if you're not having some service to protecting your space, especially if you're, again, sensitive to the supposed external environment coming in and interfering with what you're doing, where you're going, and all of that, really. If you want anything to add to that, you're welcome to leave that in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next vlog.